Hello friends, Captain Addy here and welcome to the channel. I hope you're doing well and keeping safe. A quick shout out to please like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more of these videos. Today I will build the Kinetic Mirage 2000 in 1:48 scale. This particular model will be made into an upgraded version of the Mirage 2000 serving with the Indian Air Force. In June 1985, the Indian Air Force became the first foreign operator of this type. So let's get building. The one-piece tub has some fine raised detail on the side consoles and will be worth picking out carefully when painting. There are a couple of rudder pedals and a partial rear bulkhead which is attached now and has some convincing raised boxes molded on it. A hydraulic actuator will be added at a later stage for the canopy. The fuselage has a lot of fine wet and panel lines and the detail looks good out of the box. The forward fuselage is closed up with the addition of the nose bay, which is a one piece and fits beneath the cockpit tub. There is very little detail in the nose gear bay. I leave the instrument panel, the seat and the control stick to be added at a later stage after painting. I join the forward fuselage first and then I tape up the rear so that I eliminate the seam line and I have to do less work there. The air intakes are made up of two parts. The two distinctive strakes attached to the air intakes are separate parts and will be attached later just before the painting. There are two choices of nose radome in this kit. One is for the 2000C and the other slightly longer and more pointed nose is for the -5F. So now I attach these intakes to the fuselage and you will see that there will be a small gap which will have to be filled later on. The delta wings are made up of 8 pieces. The one-piece lower wing does not seem to have the anti-drill, which is a prominent feature of the Mirage 2000. Also, the part which I received in the kit has a warp which has to be dealt with. I take the old man's approach and just bend it to the desired shape, and when we glue the top halves of the wings, we should end up with a desired anti-drill and a straight joint. Also, there is a separate part just forward of the main undercarriage bay where the guns are located as a separate piece. There are 4 separate pieces of the ailerons and these have sharp trailing edges and can be positioned. A nice touch from Kinetic is that there is a set of actuators for raised or dropped ailerons. The 4 leading edge slats are molded in the closed position. Kinetic has supplied the kit with 2 jet nozzles, which is a good thing. The inside of the jet pipe is detailed with the reheat fuel matrix and the walls are ripped. The large avionics hatch on the upper fuselage behind the cockpit is a separate part and it fits really well. The SEM MB Mark 10 seat is made up of 6 plastic parts and looks very usable. The only thing lacking are any harnesses. There is a second seat for your spares box. The vertical tail is separate and this kit has 4 different variants and this is not mentioned in the instructions, so check your references. There are different parts showing the Dassault Sabre RF jammer, which is a pod just below the bottom of the tail fin. The wing stores include Magic and Mica missiles, one 1300 litre centerline fuel tank, two 2000 litre wing fuel tanks and two 2000 litres export version of the wing fuel tanks. AS-30L missiles and Atlas targeting pod are provided and can be used in various configurations. The Mica missiles have 2 alternate seeker heads to choose from. Some of the fins are separate and the leading and the trailing edges are thin. There are separate parts for the carbon fairings or the Matra dispensers in the trailing edge of the wing roots, but these will have to be blended as their fit is not that great. The upper wing root join does need a fair bit of filling. The join of the air intakes also need a bit of filling and blending. You can certainly minimize a lot of filler and headache if you take time and get the best fit. After the required sanding at the wing roots and the blending of the air intakes to the fuselage, I ready the aircraft now for painting. As you can see, I have attached all the major pylons to the aircraft as these will be of the same color as of the underside belly color. Now to start the painting, I paint the cockpit area as dark grey, including the instrument panel, and the ejection seat will be painted as black. The canopy and windscreen are separate parts and look very clear and thin. As I will position the canopy in the open position, I will have to paint these parts separately. For the canopy and the windscreen, I have masked the clear areas, leaving aside the frames, and I have also masked the other clear bits so as to avoid any overspray. There are 8 marking options with this kit, 4 French, 2 Greek and 1 each of the Qatar Amiri Air Force and 1 of the United Arab Emirates Air Force. The French Mirages are generally very clean and with little soot residue aft of the wings at the wing root and the tail fin root. If you prefer a weathered look, you should try a Greek aircraft. I paint the aircraft in the Indian Air Force upgraded version of the Mirage 2000. The colors are similar to the French ones, but of course with different roundels and fin markings. For the painting, I use a mix of pre-shading the panel lines and black basing techniques as it will give me a better tone of the overall aircraft. To do this, I have used a very diluted mix of acrylic black paint and acrylic thinner. So here most of my pre-shading is done, and now I will begin with the actual painting of the aircraft. Most of the Mirages are painted in two-tone colors. The first one being the pale blue grey, which is mostly present on the underside of the aircraft and also there on the top side of the machine. And here I paint the underside of the aircraft pale blue grey using very thin layers and building it up as and when needed. Now to paint the darker blue color which is on the top side of the aircraft, I've used wet tissue as a mask, and to distinguish the outline I used clay snakes. But you can see that the wet tissue will start flying off, so I will have to resort to hand brushing the entire camo pattern. final paint required is on the nose cone, and this is the light grey as used by the Indian Mirages. The detailed seat is now complete, and I have used masking tape as the harnesses, and also I picked out certain bits and bobs on the seat for an added detail. The mica missiles have been painted white, and this is wrong. I will later on paint them into a light grey color. I have detailed the landing gear using stretch sprue, which will represent the hydraulic and the brake lines. The decals are great, and there is a whole lot of stencils provided for the aircraft. The wing work markings have also been depicted very nicely. The wing work markings are split into 3 parts. While one needs a little effort to get it in the right place, the other 2 are fairly straightforward and are very easy to apply. Here the aircraft stenciling and the decaling process is complete, and now we will start the weathering process. Since these Mirages are fairly well kept, I give it a very light amounts of weathering. For the weathering, I just give it a dark grey watercolor wash. This wash is a very diluted mix of 10% dark grey watercolor mixed with 90% water. It's very runny, so it has to be applied all over in a very liberal manner. And once it is completely dry, I'll remove this wash with a Q-tip, slightly dampened with water. So now once the weathering is complete, it's just a matter of time before we get a completely assembled aircraft. There are some shape inaccuracies of this kit. There is no anhedral, the shape of the upper wing root and the chord of the tail fin has not been represented that well. The canopy is not blown, but it looks acceptable. At the end, I'm very pleased with this kit as it looks like a Mirage 2000, leaving aside some inaccuracies and the nuances. The level of detail is just right and the kit is not over-engineered and the parts breakdown is sensible. Overall, this is a very good kit from Kinetic and you all should get it. The Mirage 2000 is and will always be a very attractive French fighter. I hope you all like this build, and for the future, please do like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more of such build videos. Till next time friends, cheers.